It's my weekly day off and I've decided to join a dance class, jazz dancing to be precise. Our dance teacher is Justin Yep and he's going to be putting us through our paces. Justin, like me, is an Indian Chinese. We were born and brought up in India. Our families have lived here for generations. We are Indian. I've never felt anything else. It's only sometimes when people hear my name, Jessica Chen, they say, "Oh, you're Chinese." It was nice to chat with Justin. It turned out that his mother, like mine, was also from Calcutta. Many find Delhi's summer unbearable, but I like it. The city's pace slows down. Vendors with baskets of fruit piled high line the streets. I can never resist the luscious dark purple jamun fruit. But half the fun is in the haggling. It brings back a taste of my childhood. I stopped by at KK Lee's shoe shop. He's one of Delhi's oldest shoemakers. It may be a coincidence, but talking to Justin today and then looking at Lee's latest designs made me think of myself, my origins. Who are we really, Indian or Chinese? Walking down an avenue lined with the sunburst of laburnums, I felt a stirring. I had to find out who I was and where my people came from. As children, we often visited our grandparents in Calcutta's Chinatown in the summer holidays. I was suddenly filled with a longing to return to Calcutta. An idea started knocking in my head. This trip would be different. It would be a quest. I was not sure if my parents would support the rash decision. Besides, it would be the first time I would be going alone on a long train journey. But before I could conquer my parents, I had to conquer my fear. The sudden flash of the sacred silver fish in my father's aquarium was a good omen, and that made me make up my mind. I felt I had a lot to do, and there was just no time. The challenge of it all made it daunting yet exciting. The silver fish seemed to urge me on. But first, I had to deal with my mother's questions and queries.
Have you packed? Show me. No. No need of packing it like this. You take over all your clothes. Show me. What all have you packed? Show me.
After packing and repacking 3 times, it was time for some advice and some more alerts from my mother.
That will also do. Okay. Huh? You leave the dog right now and you listen to me.
I could tell that my mother was nervous and edgy about my journey, but it was too late to pull back.
By 7 o'clock, okay? Yes. Be home by 7 o'clock because I don't think so you know anything.
It was far more easy to deal with my father. Perhaps he intuitively understood. But he also could not resist giving an additional dose of advice.
We'll talk to them about something. And we just want to meet Grandpa and everybody. So let's see how it works out.
And give my love to Grandpa.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? And what time is the train?
4:30 tonight.
I work as a customer service executive in a call center outside the city. The hours are odd, mostly night shifts, and I sleep during the day. Now, stepping out in the sun, walking through the bustle of the railway station was an adventure. One by one, all the familiar sights of Delhi slowly slid by. The more I read, the more fascinating the story became, although I already knew of China and India's long connection from school books. It all began with the ancient Silk Route in the 2nd century BC, that linked China to the Western world via India. From China to the west pass caravans crossing the high mountain passes and deserts, carrying a precious cargo of silk, jade, spices, tea and porcelain. But more than goods, it was ideas and culture that travelled on the Silk Road. The biggest, of course, was Buddhism, a religion born in India that put down strong roots in China. There are still so many reminders of China to be found in parts of India. After the arrival of Europeans in Asia, the sea route between India and China superseded the old silk routes of the north. Down south in Kerala are fishing boats, even today, built from rope and wood according to a technique the Chinese sailors brought on the sea route. Most famous of all are the fishing nets that fishermen cast in the backwaters. Even today, they are called Chinese nets. They look like giant spidery contraptions cantilevered on wooden frames and were introduced to the Malabar coast by Chinese traders and seamen. The train sped through the vast Ganges plain to the east. Passing through the state of Bihar, we stopped at Bodh Gaya, the birthplace of Buddhism. Its hallowed stupas and temples commemorate the Bodhi tree under which Gautam Buddha attained enlightenment. Thousands of followers, including mainland Chinese, come each year to pay homage to his gospel of wisdom and compassion. At last, the train slides into the bustle of Howrah station in Calcutta. I hope Uncle Michael is here. Yes, there he is. It feels so good to be back, to a welcome so warm. Calcutta, even after so many years, is a puzzle. Its cheerfully ramshackle yellow taxis, its streets crowded with jostling throngs. My grandfather's dental clinic is not far. The clinic's decoration hasn't changed much, with photographs of Grandpa as a young man surrounded by strings of false teeth. After a lifetime of dealing with dentures and fillings, Grandpa is still at it. Grandpa is a vital beginning for my search. After all, he came to Calcutta with his family from China when he was only a baby.
Papa, Mama, like Indonesia, why you want India,
Tete, as we call Grandpa, is worried. Businesses are down and children are moving out to other countries. The Chinese community is concerned about the slowdown.
100%一百分是做了90分了，4分了，10%。In India, living Chinese 10%.
Right.
90% is going.
A warm breeze is blowing off the Hooghly, Calcutta's ageless artery straddled by the frame of Howrah Bridge. Barges sail downriver to the Bay of Bengal as they have for centuries. This is and has always been East India's most famous waterway, the real gateway to India. It was along this muddy river that the first Chinese migrants arrived to establish their foothold in India. They came gradually in waves over 150 years in search of jobs and later for political sanctuary. Many of the first arrivals in the 18th century were boat people, vagabonds or ship deserters who sailed the South China Sea. Others were driven to escape the famines that gripped central China. My journey on the Hooghly took me to the peaceful village of Achupur. The horseshoe-shaped grave of Yong Achu is a shrine for the Calcutta Chinese. He is the man who set up the first Chinese settlement in India. I could not have asked for a better guide than Paul Chung, a retired school teacher who is a leader of the Chinese community. The story goes that Warren Hastings asked Yong Achu to take as much land as he could cover in one day. Achu mounted a horse and rode across 650 bighas. It was miraculous to see that piece of land lying untouched and green, just as it was more than 200 years ago. Paul related the story to me.
Chinese came here before 1780, but what happened is this, in 1780, Achu came with a group of people after getting permission from Warren Hastings. He promised him that he will manufacture sugar in India. So he gave him about 640 bigger of land. He brought 110 people inside here. So all these people working here, they managed to produce some sugar. But because this climate is not good for them, they got this malaria and all that.
Achu's sugar mill failed. He took a loan from the East India Company against a personal bond and a pledge to bring more artisans from China. Sadly, his fortunes never looked up, and he died broken-hearted in 1783. Other Chinese followed Achu, all from different regions, speaking different languages, but united in their effort to prosper in this new land.
When the Chinese came here, they are all from Canton, basically. Some from Shanghai, some from Hubei. Meizhen is Canton. So we have Siyups, Tungan, and then Hakka. Even among Cantonese, there are great diffusion. That's what happened when they came here. It seemed that they all together as one. That's why the organization got Chinatown. They are all together.
Slowly, differences cropped up and cultural ties became weak. Language was the first to suffer, but things are changing now.
Now we are getting together again to speak a common language, but it's not yet Mandarin, or we prefer English, because most of the young people are now educated in English. Like you.
Yeah.
Huh? Like you.
Another thing was like, why do Chinese people have two names?
No, actually we have three. First one is a surname, the name of the group, Klein. Then you have the other two that are usually free. One of the two is the generation name. The name signifies what Klein you are, what generation you are in your Klein, and your personal name.
Klein, generation, and your personal name. Three names.
So three aspects is put into one. Language problem is not much because we are all speaking our language. We don't mix with others. So there's no problem. Now, for example, look at it. Even though we have a little difference between here and there, we can find that these people are contributing towards rebuilding of this renovation. They are from all different castes, different tribe, group like Siyup, Sifi, Cantonese, Hakka. Everybody comes in because they all acknowledge that we have a common root. This is a place where the Chinese started here.
In Calcutta, I realized that we may have integrated to the point of becoming less visible. There is no particular area known as Chinatown anymore. If you want to catch glimpses of Chinese life, you must rise early and go to Teriti Bazaar. Here, in the midst of Indian street life, fresh dumplings and steaming baskets of dim sum draw out the Chinese from their homes. They come to eat breakfast and shop and gossip, and indulge in that truly Bengali pleasure of fishing for the best bargains. Paul Chung insisted on accompanying me. I must say it was quite a homecoming. Eating the tastiest dumplings produced on the pavement, I felt among my own. And yet the bustle of Teriti Bazaar was a unique Indian and Chinese blend. This area was properly known as Chinatown once. It was full of Chinese who ran tanneries and shoemaking businesses. It had the character and color of Chinatowns all over the world. But legal action has forced the leather-making units to relocate. Gradually, the Chinese population began to disperse to other parts of Calcutta, to other cities, other countries. It was the British who brought the Chinese to Calcutta when the city was the first great metropolis of the Raj. Monuments such as the Victoria Memorial testify to the grandeur and might of the colonial empire. I revisited some of the city's famous sites, such as the crumbling tombstones of the Park Street Cemetery, where the British are buried. It occurred to me that some of these British officers may have met my ancestors. Every decade brought a new influx of immigrants. The forebears of many of today's Calcutta Chinese, such as my great-grandfather, arrived to escape the turbulence of Kuomintang rule, and later the upheavals of the Second World War or Mao's revolution. I wandered happily through the open spaces of the Maidan, where Bengal's obsession with football is practiced with fierce energy. Calcutta's streets teem with life and are a study in forms of transport. Hand-drawn rickshaws, believed to have been introduced by the Chinese, to rusting old tramcars that are relics of the Raj. Almost every type of vehicle, from village India to the global village, is out there, contributing its best to the traffic jams. Calcutta was established as a commercial venture, and its endurance is a tribute to the power of trade. It remains a cultural melting pot. Every creed is represented here, free to pursue its way of life. Food is a passion in Calcutta, and if there is one thing that Indians associate most with the Chinese, it's food. As night falls, the lanes of Tangra come alive with the sights and smells of fresh noodles, steaming stir-fries, long and delectable menus of some of the most famous eateries in the city. Many of Calcutta's Chinese have stuck to family trades for generations, running restaurants or dentistry like my grandfather. Best known of all, the business of shoemaking. The Woon Son Shoe Company is one such establishment in Calcutta, where every item of footwear is custom made, each piece of leather expertly cut, stitched and fitted by the owner, Len Chi-ju. The lovely old-fashioned shop smells of polished leather and glue. I was sad to leave it, but I was on my way to meet up with Paul Chung. Just as an abacus symbolizes the Chinese spirit of enterprise, Their temples, filled with philosophical writings, capture their introspection and sobriety. The Si Ip Church, one of the oldest Chinese temples in the city, has stood in the same spot for more than 100 years. Each part of the temple, the brightly colored pillars, the furniture and the pictures have all been brought bit by bit from mainland China by immigrants coming to Calcutta. The Chinese of Calcutta come here to worship and have their fortunes told. They drop 2 wooden pots on the floor.
To your fortune. So suppose they come, they say, they get a message from there. They say, what is it?
The way the pots fall will foretell their future. The Si Ip is a place of meditative calm and curious ritual. Worshippers can pray, blow into packets to read their future, or ward off unlucky spirits under the benign gaze of Kuan Ti, the warrior god, or Kuan Yin, the goddess of mercy. I was keen to know what the gods had to say about me.
2 halves.
Paul Chung said the pods made an auspicious shape. Odd bits and pieces of china still survive in Calcutta, tucked away in unlikely corners. One such is the office of the newspaper Xiong Pao, or the Overseas Chinese Commerce of India. It is perhaps the only newspaper in the world that is handwritten, each letter carefully calligraphed by editor C.J. Chen with reporters Li Chuan Sheng and Helen Yang. The paper has no regular publication date. It comes out as and when it can afford to, or its staff of 3 are able to.
但係中文嘅唔識，就冇辦法翻譯我哋嘅中文，所以我哋研究到中文呢，就係有一個叫做。
It was an inspiring story of patience, of persistence and perseverance.
前在根本就係冇創嘅殺本嘅，不過大家是要嘢保持係，既然。 也保護委員啊，就是全力支持，能去親自。
Named after a Chinese flower, the Pei May School is another important Chinese institution in Calcutta. Established in 1929, its headmistress, Mrs. Hume, told me that the number of students was once as high as 1,200, but has now dwindled. The hostilities between India and China in 1962 marked the beginning of the Chinese exodus from Calcutta.
Because of the Chinese aggression in 1962, people were feeling insecure. Our movement were restricted. We couldn't go out anywhere on our own. We have to get permit. So, and also the Indian community looked upon us as foreigners. We were no longer treated as part of the citizen of India. So people were feeling insecure and they decided to migrate to other places. Some of them went to America, Canada, European countries. So the number of Chinese had dwindled from here.
A yearning to keep Chinese culture alive has begun to revive interest in Chinese language. Mrs. Hume is bravely battling to keep up standards to ensure that Calcutta's Chinese retains something of their unique identity.
The parents are especially keen to that their children should know Chinese. You see, when you know Chinese, when you learn Chinese, you come to appreciate the tradition and the custom which are followed in this place. I've been to Hong Kong and Taiwan and other places. When I see the marriages or funeral there, I think here we are following the custom more truly than the Chinese in those areas. So we are still keeping up the tradition of our forefathers.
This is the season for the Pei May flowers to bloom in China, and it seems a new crop is budding here too. I had approached my journey to Calcutta with apprehension. I expected to find little, but I had found a rich history and a wealth of shared experience. On Friday, when I'm back in Delhi, I will return to the dance class. I'm looking forward to seeing Justin again. We have so much to talk about.